Greetings from Nanook Lodge. And yep, we've brought the bar to the kitchen for this episode of drinks and something to make. I've got a barrel here and we're going to talk about barrel aging cocktails. Why do you barrel age cocktail? Well, because having the liquid sit in a barrel and it breathe in and out of the wood brings in flavor. And it makes the cocktail a little bit more robust in flavor, but also smooths it out a little bit too. I've got a 2-liter barrel here, and for beginners, I really suggest you start with a 1-liter barrel. You can order barrels online at www.barrelsonline.com. Really reasonable, and they'll even put a logo on the barrel if you want it. They send it to you with the plug, the spout spigot here, and the stand. Everything you see here comes with your barrel. Super easy to order online and reasonably priced. Today we're going to talk about making a barrel-aged Manhattan. Now Manhattan is typically made from rye or bourbon, a little sweet vermouth, and some bitters. When you're doing a barrel-aged cocktail, you want to put a very spirit-forward cocktail in your barrel. You don't want to put something in here with juice or something that will spoil. So you want like a Manhattan or a Sazerac or a Negroni or an old-fashioned. A little bit of sugar in the old-fashioned is fine, but don't put like a rum and coke or a screwdriver or anything like that in here. The barrel's gonna sit with its liquor in it for about 4, 6, 8 weeks, and you want to try it at 4 weeks, at 6 weeks, and see how you like it. I typically give it a try at 4 weeks, but I have found that for me, the prime aging time for me is about 6 weeks in a 2-liter barrel. Be a little shorter than that in a 1-liter barrel, and if you go bigger, it'll take a little bit longer. To fill this up, which is the most expensive part of it, the alcohol is much more expensive than the barrel. You just take your favorite cocktail and multiply it up. A liter is 33.8 ounces, so a little bit more than a quart. 2 liters is 66, 67 ounces. So in the recipe in the description below, I've given you the recipe for Manhattan. I'll also put in there a recipe for Sazerac and a Negroni, batched up to 1 liter. And if you've got a 2-liter barrel, you can just double it. But essentially, you mix everything together in a bowl, like you would stir for a cocktail, put it in here with a funnel, put the cork on, let it go sit just someplace nice, not in the sun, nice and doesn't have to be cool or dark in the basement. And then I take and put a Post-it on the back of the barrel that just tells me when the times and the dates to check it, so that I can say, oh yeah, okay, I can look at it and it's been 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever I think. This barrel is almost done. It is 7 weeks and I'm going to give it a try. So I just put a little glass under here. I'm going to take this off and just let in a little air. Got a little bit of the spirit here. This is the Nanook Lodge House cocktail that I started barrel aging back in March. And you can find the Nanook Lodge cocktail in a previous episode. When you put it in here, it just gets much more deeper flavor, much rounder flavor, and really, really different than just drinking the cocktail by itself. I always like to have a couple of different barrel-aged bottles on my bar. One's always the Nanook Lodge House cocktail. The other one is sometimes a Manhattan or a Sazerac or an Orange Manhattan, sometimes just some barrel-aged gin. You can do a lot of things with this, and you can use your barrel over and over again. I have used the barrel several times for whiskey cocktails, and I found that I can go maybe 4, 5, 6 times with a whiskey cocktail in there. And then I've taken it and I put some homemade Worcestershire sauce in there. And that was really cool because it kind of brought in a little bit of the whiskey characteristics into the Worcestershire and made it totally new flavored Worcestershire sauce. And so that was kind of a trashed barrel at that point. But I made some hot sauce and put the hot sauce in the barrel, and that picked up some of the characteristics of the Worcestershire and aged the hot sauce. And it turned the hot sauce from a bright orange to kind of a brownish orange. So it was a little bit different color. But then I thought, okay, and last thing I did with the barrel before I threw it out is I put in a bunch of vodka, and I made hot sauce vodka, which is great in Bloody Marys. So there are a ton of things you can do with a barrel. There's lots of different, I've When I thought the barrel was done, I put a bunch of simple syrup in here and let the simple syrup age in there. So I had some barrel aged simple syrup. And then I put another cocktail in on top of that just to see what would happen. And boy, that cocktail is super sweet. I don't recommend doing that. If you want to make barrel aged simple syrup, make it one of the last things you do in the barrel before you do it, because it gets hot and expands and contracts, and the liquid goes in the wood and comes out of the wood, and that's what brings the flavor. So very similar to how you would make whiskey in Scotland or Ireland or Kentucky. And so you can play with it, have fun with it. If you want a whole bunch of recipes, I take my little notebook, and I've logged everything I've been doing in barrels for about 10 years. And if you private message me or send me an email, I'm happy to send you some recipes and send you the logs of what I've been doing. I'm happy to share. There's no secrets, and it's fun to experiment and learn. So thanks for tuning in to Cooking at Nanook Lodge, or in this case, barrel aging at Nanook Lodge. And I hope that it inspires you to go just get 1 liter of barrel and just give it a try yourself. You'll have something fun to serve your friends, and it's something that you did, and you'll just never know what you find out that you like. Thanks. Catch you next time.